and since she's half Asian, which is half good, and half white, which is half okay. So Muggsy is a very cute mixed child. I feel like she could be in demand for.
And whose team is this? Is this your team, or is this your daddy's team?
Thanks for listening to Dad Mode Podcast, common sense parenting in a politically correct world. Here's your host, Andy Carlson.
Welcome back to the Dad Mode Podcast, common sense parenting in a politically correct world. I'm your host, Andy Carlson, at Andy Carlson Show on the Twitter machine. I'm a father, and I have no idea what I'm doing, but you don't either. So let's try and learn something together today. The website is dadmodepod.com, Twitter at dadmodepod, or just use the hashtag dadmode. With me today, Uncle Nick, at Nick's Son, on Twitter. Hey, how's it going?
Going good, Andy. How are you doing?
I'm fantastic, mostly because I didn't have to do any prep for the show. Not that we do too much prep. But I didn't even have to come up with a topic because you got that covered. And it's an interesting one. It's a very good one. Very topical. Very out there. I actually forgot what it was, but what is it?
All right. Since I love entertainment news, I'm such a pop culture kind of guy. And doing this Dad Mode podcast, it made me think of kids who I want to do a topic on kids who enter the movie industry, television industry, and how it affects their lives. If you have a TV or any type of media device, you see kids all over. They're in major movies. They have important roles on TV sitcoms. It takes a toll, and a lot of people know that a lot of child stars. Some turn out okay, and some not so much. So I thought we could do a little Dad Mode podcast about what if our future kids entered Hollywood, became Hollywood kids.
Now, if we're talking about like Gary Coleman.
Yeah, you can.
Now, was he a kid or was he just a little person?
I think he was a kid when he started out, but I think he has a disorder which I think keeps
Webster's disease.
He has a disorder too. I think Gary Coleman, he might have just been a little person, but I thought he was a child when he did the whole Different Strokes. Yeah, because he was born in '68, and Different Strokes looks like '78. So yeah, he was 10. Different Strokes was on for like 8 years. So yeah, from like 10 to 18, yeah, he stayed his childlike state, I think.
All right. R.I.P. Gary Coleman. Now, what are some of the examples that you got of child actors gone wrong? Like Corey Haim.
Well, both of them kind of had that rough life. They had the the time frame was 80s, and young kids could do whatever they want. So that got them into drinking and drugs at a very young age. So I think we lost Corey Haim not too long ago from, I believe, a drug overdose.
But still, Corey Feldman here, alive, not working.
He might be working.
Now, we're talking about some like the big budget stuff because they was it Goonies? Stand By Me?
Stand By Me was the Lost Boys.
Oh, yeah.
That was their big one. And like, I'm trying to when I want to do this topic, I want to keep the kids younger because obviously you Dad Mode podcast, you have an infant daughter. I want to keep young. But I mean, in order to be acting, you have to be able to speak well and follow directions. So I mean, you're kind of, I'm trying not to be in the teenager years, but yep. But they started out. They did start off. Stand By Me. I believe they were pre-adolescent. I think they had to be under 12. I think.
Yeah. The funniest thing for me, and the wife finds this funny too, is TV shows or movies where it's supposed to be a newborn baby and it's like a 3-month-old.
Oh yeah,
because it's really hard to get like newborns on film, on set. They never show up for their call time.
Yeah, that's kind of how the luck is. I think from what from what I read about children who do make it in Hollywood, most kids can follow direction, but when you're on the spot in like the director is like in the audition, if you're not gonna be on cue, then if your kid's not cooperating at that moment, the kid's cut.
Well, it's just like American Sniper, where it was supposed to be a baby, except they had a plastic doll.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's really awkward. Bradley Cooper did his best though, because he's Bradley Cooper,
who's also Rocket Raccoon in Guardians of the Galaxy.
All right, now what are some examples, some of the best known examples that you got of child actors?
Okay, so I'm going really old school with this one, but I think, and from like to make the story a little bit happy, is that Shirley Temple from like the start of like the golden age of movie television, like she was one of the most popular ones out there. She did a little.
But didn't she flash David Letterman?
No. You're thinking of Drew Barrymore. I was gonna bring up Drew. I was gonna bring her up.
Sorry. Proceed on Shirley Temple.
Shirley Temple, she did, obviously, like, all the movies back in the day were old, happy kid movies, it's just, she turned out to be a great woman in real life. I think she became a good humanitarian, I believe.
I think she became an ambassador.
Yeah, there you go, ambassador, that's
yeah. I think she just died recently, didn't she?
Yep, yes, she died last.
But she wasn't a very good partier because all of her drinks never had booze in them.
See, got it. This was like 1930s. She was born in 1928, early 30s. So she started young, and like Curly Top and Heidi were like the popular ones, and just like that's a good story gone right. I think a lot of the problem I think is just today's society. I think from like the 80s on, you have these bad stories of like kids just grew up wrong. It's just the outside influences of the 80s. They're just it all comes down to drugs, I think.
Well, what are some of the bad examples?
All right. Drew Barrymore, very young child actress when she started in E.T.
Mm-hmm.
Remember E.T.?
Reese's Pieces.
I think she did like Firestarter. I think that was one of the Stephen King early ones of the 80s. But I think roles got limited for her, and I think she got into sex and drugs, I believe. And I just luckily today her career, she does have a happy ending. She straightened her life around. She was dating or married Tom Green for some reason in that late 90s. You remember that?
That's when she really bottomed out.
That was the low life. And then
well, what was her deal? Was it because she comes from a Hollywood family, right?
I don't know. I'm looking that up right now. I feel like she did,
because I feel like most of the time with the child actors, it is the parents who either let the kid do whatever they want or spend all the kid's money, and then it's always just a mess that just messes these kids up for adulthood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah, she is from the American actor Drew Barrymore.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with. But yeah, apparently all her family is acting. I'm just not too familiar with any of their work. But the joys of today's society is that people can bounce around and make a comeback. Sometimes they don't have a great high life career. See, I'm looking up here. Haley Joel Osment from Sixth Sense. Remember that kid?
He got fat.
Yeah, and his roles haven't been as big as Sixth Sense. But
I see dead people. And they're bringing me McDoubles.
And like a lot of kids, they just have that like one hit and then they're gone. The kid, the boy from E.T., his name's Henry Thomas. I think he hasn't done too much of a career after.
Henry Thomas, who went on to play defensive tackle for the Vikings.
No.
Hall of Fame caliber career. Yep.
You could be Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen. We're getting into TV right now, but I think their storyline was the one where like when they went to audition for that Full House, I think there's like they smiled and they did all the right things in front of the camera to permanently have that spot in position,
Mm.
and they end up having they got out of entertainment. They like fashion and stuff, and like they
one
had
was
like $1 billion name.
One was a druggy like toothpick. What is she?
I forgot which one that was. I forgot if it was Mary Kate or Ashley. The twins. I can't tell them apart.
Now, I'm trying to think of the Greg Giraldo roast joke. Wasn't it?
Oh gosh,
were they involved with Heath Ledger? Like they date one of them?
I think Ashley might have been with Heath Ledger. I think the night of or the day before. I think.
That's very sad.
Ugh. God, I'm trying to remember that joke, but that should not be something.
Yeah. All right. So now, what was their backstory? Was it the whole parents driving them? Because they have a sister too, right?
Yeah. Okay, Ashley. It's yeah. She was just in the new Avengers one. Elizabeth Olsen.
Mm.
Yeah.
Now she seems relatively normal.
Because she wasn't in the major spotlight as these girls were growing up.
Mm.
I heard they weren't too kind. I've heard rumors they weren't too kind to the younger sister. I think more that could just be more of a sister type of thing. But let me see here. That is looks like the mother was their personal manager. Interesting.
And she spent all the money.
Yeah, I wanted to bring that up later. The problem with when you have these kids who are going to become big. The problem is the parents can be abusive with that power because, the kids aren't specifically getting the money. They're not getting the paycheck. I don't know how child labor laws work with that or how filming and crew, I don't know who that works with, but a lot of the parents are the kids' agents, and manage and handle the money for the kids. And there are some stories of people who they lose, they get emancipated. They drop their parents from the business aspect of it.
Yeah, because the Modern Family girl,
yep.
Ariel Winters, that just happened, right?
Yep, that just happened. So, I don't know, I don't follow her story too much. I mean,
lies, Nick.
I got bored with Modern Family quickly after the first couple seasons.
Just because everyone called you Manny.
Yes, I do not look like Manny. Oh my god.
Just because you guys were wearing like a similar Charlie Sheen shirt.
Oh man.
Yep. And I do wonder like how these kids can live a normal life with the fame, attention, with the money coming in, especially if a show is popular and then eventually goes to syndication, and like the unhealthy relationship that some of these parents and kids have where kid's a breadwinner. I mean, he's kind of in charge, except you're his legal guardian. You're the only one who can write checks. So guess what? You're going to blow his money, which is unfortunate because they should be saving up for, college education, maybe a house, maybe all that stuff. But nah, you're just going to buy stupid stuff because you're the parents and you won a little lottery ticket and you're using your kid as a meal card.
Yeah, it's terrible to think that. It's it happens. I mean, like you have brought up about how these kids are growing up. I mean, like they're not going to have normal lives. Like percentage. Let's do the whole percentage thing. Like, how many people do you think when they have kids do they think, oh, they're going to be the next movie star or television star?
25%.
How many actually do? What, 0.0001%?
0.0001%. And the only Asian kids that make it is the kid from the show Fresh Off the Boat, which is a fantastic show. We just started watching that last night. It is funny.
I'll look that up.
The mom is she's pretty okay looking. Yeah, that is all.
What was I gonna say? Okay, so these kids who end up getting into Hollywood, they don't have normal lives. They're not attending school normally. A lot of them are getting tutored.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not, like, because you have TV shows based around, kids in middle school, high school, elementary school. These kids aren't going to those schools. They are being taught by someone probably in like an actor's office or something. That's how they're getting somewhat smart, or having some type of education at all. Is they're getting tutored when they're not reading their scripts, if they're not attending actors class. I mean, a lot of these kids, I'm sure, go to acting school. They have that out in LA. So these kids aren't becoming the kids that like you and I grew up as. They're not going to be the same. Not to alienate, but I mean they're gonna be extremely different.
And yeah, I kind of wonder, like, say an agent sees little Muggsy out walking, and he walks up and is like, "Hey, that's a good-looking baby," and I'll be like, and he'll be like, I want to put her in a movie or a commercial or print advertisement. I'd be like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't even know what I would say at that point, because we're going to have to cross that bridge, because Muggs is, of course, going to be cute and talented. Humble brag. No big deal. But,
you want that exploited.
There is a lot of exploitation-ness in it. And I don't see us as being the type of parents who would spend all the kids' money, Macaulay Culkin style. Is that what happened to him?
I forgot what happened to Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah, but I think overall, like, I feel like some parents of child actors lose the point of being parents, where it's supposed to have, the kids be happy and well-adjusted while growing up, and that's why all these kids are a mess.
Culkin, that was a sad tale with him. I mean, not sad. I mean, like he was the '90s poster boy of like, this is what kids do, and like this is what kids are. It was him. He was in everything, and then kind of disappeared into oblivion.
Well, was he in everything though, or was he just in Home Alone 1 and 2?
No, he. I always remember Richie Rich, the good son.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of like how Elijah Wood was kind of like in that boat, but not as popular. I think he was in the movie. I always remember him from North. I think he was the other kid in The Good Son. But I think so that whole joy of kid actors is that they eventually grow up, and then they if they're not fast on rising into that whole teenage stardom or young adult stardom, I mean, you'll be like, oh, you were that one cute kid on that one show for a while.
Because Macaulay Culkin is weird. Yeah. Or Home Improvement, the youngest kid, didn't he end up marrying like some 40-year-old chick when he was 18?
I don't remember that.
Or while we're on that, Jonathan Taylor Thomas, do you remember that?
Yeah.
Like he was like on every girl our age growing up's like folder. Mm-hmm. JTT OMG. Even though we didn't have OMG back then, but you catch my drift.
Yeah. Let's see. At 17, he married Heidi Van Pelt. Marriage, the age difference of Van Pelt was 16 years older than. And guess what? They ended up in divorce. Let's see. This youngest kid he was arrested, DUI, possession of marijuana in 2012. That's the last of it. I thought he would. I guess he wasn't asked to go back on the show, but I know Tim Allen, his new ABC show or CBS show, The Last Man Standing. I think he had Jonathan Taylor Thomas, and I think he had his former wife on the show. I mean, kind of bring them back to do small stuff like that. But I knew Jonathan Taylor Thomas, with his whole like being so popular, I think he chose to kind of like give it a break and like call it like he just didn't want. I think he wanted to try having like a normal life for a while.
Plus, isn't he only like 5'2"?
I don't have his height on Wikipedia.
Who knew? By the way, Home Improvement was a fantastic show.
Oh yeah, it was a great show.
Yeah.
The man's kitchen, all the stuff.
Yes.
The stuff they do at Home Improvement.
I just YouTube all of those clips. Like the man's kitchen, the man's bedroom, the man's bathroom. It was a great, just fantastic show. All right, so what else you got with kid actors?
See, what else was I going to do here? All right, so let's go through my list here. Dakota Fanning turned out okay.
So far.
So far. I mean, the thing that you can keep these kids can keep they're young adults now. A lot of the ones that are listed like, oh, I remember she was kind of cute, and then like, oh, but then like, hey, I'm that same age, and oh man, she turned into like a super hot young model. That's very nice. Oh yeah, Christina Ricci. I thought she was like a child actress. She was
Addams
in
Family?
Addams Family. When I originally thought about this whole doing this topic, I wanted to talk about like kids, like movie plot lines that involved around kids specifically, like why were they such a big deal? The biggest one I'm thinking of is Look Who's Talking. But we're talking about it, we're breaking the borderline of like these are babies, and as far as I know, I don't think the babies were ever kind of like I don't think they're ever considered actors, and like I don't think they've ever done anything. But like I wonder why Spy Kids, Poltergeist, like there's always a like I feel like a lot of entertainment audiences they like focusing films and shows around the kids. Like the kids are they're the joyful, laughable, they're the ones that you root for in the horror movies. They're the ones that you cheer on and laugh at on the sitcoms,
I feel like kids and dogs can pretty much sell anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and Air Bud, put him with a kid.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
I'm assuming it's because I think a lot of like obviously you're marketing to kids, so you want kids to be like, oh, I wish I could be that kid playing basketball with Air Bud or playing football with Football Bud or whatever. I don't remember the. Sorry.
Actually, I think they call him Air Bud plays football, maybe.
All of them?
Or Ernest goes to camp, one of the two.
Okay, 90s. We grew up with a ton of kids sport movies. So we had the Mighty Ducks. We had the Little Giants. We had the Sandlot. We wanted to be those kids in those movies. We wanted to be playing the teams.
The Mighty Ducks. That was a great movie. I feel like Sandlot is a little overrated.
I think we talked about this on a different podcast.
Because it is a good movie, but I feel like it gets like overhyped to like exalted status because people have nostalgia and they're like, oh my God, Sandlot. But it's just like, it was okay. Benny the Jet had a creepy mustache at the end. I mean, no one talks about that. No one brings that up.
Wait, I missed that. What did you say?
Benny the Jet has a creepy mustache at the end when they're adults.
Oh yeah, that was the time. That's what they did.
Yeah. Then I give them the thumbs up because I'm pretty sure Smalls and Benny got a little something going on. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
I haven't. Maybe I don't. Okay, no, we're supposed to talk about kids. That's the whole point of this.
Oh, yep. Sorry.
Right.
About kids.
Trying to look up here. Oh yeah, Mara Wilson. I miss her. She was in what was it? She was in like Miracle on 34th Street. I mean, it was kids sell stuff, man. That's what it's all about.
Going to commercials. What was the name of that girl who did the Pepsi commercials?
Oh, like the Curly Sue looking girl.
Yeah.
I'll laugh if it's Curly Sue.
Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba.
Was it Kelly Lynch?
Haley Eisenberg.
Whoa, what?
Sure.
That was her name?
I guess so.
Oh. Wait, so I totally had someone.
Looking back, she looked very Canadian.
Really? Huh.
Oh my! Is she? Oh my God! Haley Eisenberg is Jesse Eisenberg's little sister.
No way, really?
Apparently. So that's a pretty solid family right there. I mean, you got the Pepsi girl, and then you got the guy who played the guy who invented Facebook. Not a bad run for the Eisenbergs.
Currently attends American University. Interesting.
Now, is American University like the actual brick and mortar one, or is it one of those online colleges? No, that's National American University.
Think of NAU.
Which is the worst.
The one day, one night commercials.
One day, one night, Saturday's all right. All right, but to put a bow on the child actor commercial. So, Nick, when you have kids, would you allow them to do like commercials or like a TV show or a movie if you were so approached?
Gosh, that's I mean, I've always wanted to be in the entertainment industry. I mean, I feel like it'd be like going back to the sports episode we did where we talked about, man, like I feel like I would push my kids farther than I would need to. Like, come on, cry on cue, cry on set. You know, it'd be, I don't know, like obviously like when you have that cute child, you know, you right away you want to submit their picture to Gerber, like this is a Gerber baby. My child's beautiful. You know, this should be the. You know, so I mean, obviously, I think my kids, I'm sure, as like cute babies, I'm like, yes, let's get them all over. Let's make them selling Pampers, diapers, and all this type of stuff. You know, formula commercials. I would love to do that. I would open up that opportunity to give them a chance to do it. I would definitely check with lawyers and make sure that any type of career, if they do attempt it, you know, that you know they're treated fairly and not you know overworked, or if you know if there was a chance to become a career, you know, I'd pay some for stuff. But yeah, I you know, I believe kids should live a normal life, you know, and if they want to pursue it as an adult, they can do that, you know.
I agree. And you know, with Muggsy being as adorable as she is, and that's not bias. Like she's a cute kid. All right. But let's just establish that Muggsy is a very good looking baby. And the fact that it does seem like the chic thing nowadays in advertisements and on TV and movies is to have mixed kids. And, you know, since she's half Asian, which is half good, and half white, which is half, okay. So Muggsy is a very cute mixed child. I feel like she could be in demand for like some commercials or advertisements. And I don't know, like there's so many things exposing them to the entertainment business can warp a child's sense of reality and even self-worth. But I feel like if it's something that she really wants to do, I understand that doing a Pampers commercial can't really give her consent, but say she's like 5, 6, 7, 8, if she has an interest in it and actually wants to do it, maybe, sure. I mean, it could be a good way to, you know, stock up some cash for college, and then she'd have a sense that, hey, I paid for college by doing a little Lakeville Ford commercial when I was 8. It'd be a nice way to go. But it definitely, like you said, wouldn't be something to force her into, which I feel like a lot of parents in Hollywood entertainment actually do. And I feel like a lot of those kids don't make it onto the Modern Family, you know, despite your pushing. And then they still have that the negative connotations of being a child actor, even though they didn't make it, the money isn't there, but they're still messed up and you're still a terrible parent.
Yep, exactly. But there are good examples of people who've made it in the industry and either one made it out and live normal lives now, or the ones who are much bigger things. I think Ron Howard, is one of the most popular ones who started off, I think.
Yeah, but look what happened to his brother. He's deformed.
Clint Howard.
Poor Clint Howard. Kids, if you don't know what Clint Howard looks like, Google him. He's the goofy looking guy in every movie.
He was the guy from Goonies. No, I'm kidding.
Sloth.
No, no disrespect, Clint Howard. I love you, Clint Howard. If you're listening to the show.
Speaking of Clint Howard, you can get all of his great Clint Howard movies, such as To Be Determined. We'll figure out what Clint Howard's movies are later. But a great place to buy them is on Amazon. And a great place to get your Amazon fix is through dadmopod.com. Top left corner, click on the Amazon link. It will take you to Amazon through our link and bookmark that and buy all of your Amazon stuff through us. What is the next movie that you're going to buy through Amazon, Nick?
I'm looking to buy some new equipment for my guitar, some recording equipment.
No,
otherwise, movie you said?
Movie.
What movie? Definitely when the Avengers Age of Ultron comes out, which I'm going to make you watch once you've watched the first effing one.
So what I heard was The Town, starring Ben Affleck, directed by Ben Affleck. Very underrated movie. Jeremy Renner, great performance in that. So Nick is buying that, and it's the same cost of anything you buy on Amazon. It's just normal, but we get a little kickback, keeps the show afloat, and we thank you. But we're out of here. Say goodnight, Nick.
Good night, Nick.
Show's available on iTunes, the YouTube, the Stitcher, all those good places. Give us a rate and review and subscribe on iTunes. Get those numbers up. Follow us on Twitter at DadModePod, or me personally at Andy Carlson Show. Nick is at Nick is Son. The website is dadmodepod.com. But we're gone. Be a man, be a father, go dad mode. We'll see you next time. The wife is baking banana bread. Thug life.
Think the episode you just heard is worth $1? Well, send it our way. Visit dadmodepod.com/support to find out how. Be a man, be a father. Go dad mode. The music is created and produced by Deeb. To hear more of his tracks, visit soundcloud.com/Deeb.